The Day of the Doctor, the feature-length special celebrating 50 years of Doctor Who, is simply astounding. It's a dramatic, mature, and immensely entertaining experience, and a wonderful tribute to the show's rich past. It's the best thing current showrunner Stephen Moffat has ever written, it's a serious contender for the best Doctor Who episode ever, and may be my favourite film of the year, and it can be reasonably classified as such because of its wide cinema release, and for being made, written, and paced as a film, and not as an extended episode. The Day of the Doctor finally delves into the Time War, a running plot thread since the series' revival in 2005, and the Doctor's devastating role within it. During the fall of Arcadia, Gallifrey's second city, the War Doctor, John Hurt, obtains the Moment, a weapon that will end the war by wiping out the Time Lords and Daleks together. The War Doctor is ashamed of what he must do, believing that it forfeits his right to be called the Doctor, but still convinced of its dreadful necessity. But the Moment's sentient interface, taking the form of past, or from his perspective future, companion Rose Tyler, opens portals in time to show the War Doctor the consequences of his actions. This leads to him meeting the 10th, David Tennant, and 11th, Matt Smith, Doctors, and the three Doctors take part in both foiling an alien invasion in present-day London and in the Time War's resolution. Everything about the Day of the Doctor is superb. Hurt, Tennant, and Smith have delightful chemistry together, and the dialogue crackles with wit and insight. John Hurt delivers a remarkable performance as the War Doctor, conveying both his innate warmth and a haunted anxiety from the horrific war he has fought in, and the nuance in the three Doctors' characterization is handled remarkably. The 10th and 11th Doctors are physically younger than the War Doctor despite being several centuries older than him, and the excitable and childlike demeanours we love about them are shown to be a coping mechanism for the crushing guilt they feel about their actions as the War Doctor. All three Doctors have experienced unimaginable hardship and trauma and share memories of the Time War, but the war's ending is still in the War Doctor's future. As Clara points out, the War Doctor is less scarred and, ironically, much younger, both literally and psychologically, than his successors, as he has not yet had to live with the remorse of committing an act of genocide, even for the good of the universe. The Day of the Doctor really highlights how every incarnation of the Doctor is a different facet of the same person, as a grave decision weighs down on the War 10th and 11th Doctors in different ways, primarily from a before and after perspective, and this makes for fascinating interplay between them. The narrative also has a deeply intriguing moral complexity, as the Moment's interface helps the War Doctor make his decision. Amid the clever humour, there is a grim note of inevitability in the special. The Time War is threatening all of reality and causing terrible grief and suffering across the entire universe, and destroying both Daleks and Time Lords is apparently the only way to stop the chaos, even if it means killing billions of innocent children. Day of the Doctor thus indicates that the Doctor's commitment to helping people and saving worlds is his attempt to atone and make up for ending the Time War this way, even though nothing can fully repay or justify his actions. Moreover, small-scale victories for peace in the present, in this case stopping a Zygon invasion, are hopeful but insignificant, and cannot even compare to the scale of the Time War. The special is bold enough to view the Doctor as a tormented anti-hero and essentially the biggest, best-intentioned mass murderer in all of existence. The Day of the Doctor is thus an intriguing, poignant exploration of what it means to be the Doctor, both as a saviour and a man with a heavy conscience and seemingly no other options. But even with this dark drama, The Day of the Doctor is still an incredibly fun time. As I was watching it, I realised that the special almost feels like an Edgar Wright movie. Not in the style or cast, of course, but in the essence, as The Day of the Doctor masterfully balances drama, pathos, and humour without any element clashing. As mentioned before, Hurt, Tennant, and Smith make a wonderful team, and it's amusing to watch how their different personalities interact. There are plenty of little gags that feel organic and never forced into the narrative, and there is a funny subplot involving the 10th Doctor courting Queen Elizabeth I that has clear relevance to the main plot thread, both in thematic parallels, much like the Doctor in the Time War. Kate Stewart, director of UNIT, must consider destroying London and killing millions of people to save the planet from the Zygon invasion, and in setting up important artifacts for the main plot thread. The climax, which I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it, is also pure, exhilarating, uplifting awesomeness, with far more Doctors than anyone expected, even a sneak peek at the next one, appearing to save the day. I was afraid that Billie Piper would be annoying in this special. I don't like Rose, by the way, but she doesn't technically play Rose Tyler, but rather the moment's interface in her form, and brings a very engaging mystique and gravitas to the role. Jenna Coleman is touching and perceptive as Clara, the 11th Doctor's companion, and Gemma Redgrave is confident and commanding as Kate Stewart. Joanna Page is somewhat obnoxious as Queen Elizabeth I, basically serving as comic relief, but this was intentional and therefore forgivable. The Day of the Doctor is superbly paced, the production values and effects are amazing, and the Zygons, in their first televised appearance since Terror of the Zygons in 1975, are a cool-looking and fairly intimidating villain in the Earth subplot. I loved The Day of the Doctor. It's a deep, compelling, highly moving and enormously fun celebration of 50 years of this great TV series, and an entry that I would definitely recommend to anyone who enjoys touching drama and rollicking adventure. The Day of the Doctor earns 5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching. Cheers.